Hey there my dudes, it's Laddie here and welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to be speaking about being transgender and is it a phase. Just a disclaimer before this video, I am going to make sure this video is as family friendly as possible so that if you're young and you're watching this video and you want to show it to your parents, just to like give them an example or give them some information about if they think it's a phase for you, if they think that it's going to pass over, then maybe I'll give them some more information of what they can do to help you with being transgender. Or also if it's a parent watching through videos trying to find information about their transgender kid, then watch the rest of this video and you can also watch it with your kid. It's going to be as family friendly as I can get it. Just remember there's transgender themes. Now that disclaimer's over and everyone watching this video, you know, knows what it's about, so nearly every day I'd say I get different kinds of people telling me that it's probably just a phase, that I'm in a time in my life where things are changing and I probably won't actually feel this way my entire life. Before I get to my opinion on the matter, I will just say yes. I know that around the world there have been people that have been transgender and, well, they've said that they've been transgender and then afterwards they have changed their mind and they've said, no, I'm not transgender, I'm happy in the gender that I'm assigned at birth. And of course, even in my circle of friends, friends of friends, people who are actually down here, it's a small world, I've actually, you know, known of people that have stated very clearly that they are transgender, but afterwards they have gone completely back to the gender that they were assigned at birth and they no longer associate with being transgender. And obviously they're switching between different transgenders, but today I'm speaking about whether it's a phase or not. So as I said, all of the time I get people telling me, okay, well it's a phase, well it'll probably change when your hormones calm down, when you're older, or it's probably, you know, it's probably not really you probably want something else, not to be transgender, you're probably searching for something else in life, or the reason why you want to be transgender is because something's missing in your life. For one, it's parents that I have, in my experience and in people who I know experience, like transgender people who I know experience, it's usually parents and family that seem to state that it's a phase. For me, yeah, family has stated it's a phase, or have said your hormones are crazy at the moment, you probably don't know what's going on in your body and you probably don't know who you are and what you are because you're, well, I'm 17 I'm 18 in a few weeks in June, and well, more than a few weeks, but I'm 18 in June, and they're like, your hormones are still going crazy at this point, you probably don't know what you want. A lot of the people have told me, you should just wait, or try every other method. So this is a video setting it straight for people like myself and other transgender people, because yes, there have been cases of people that have called themselves transgender and then it was a phase for them. But what's even more confusing is there are obviously people who are transgender who it isn't a phase for, because it makes it more confusing for those people. I can understand that if you're very young and you feel the same stuff as being transgender and people are telling you it's a phase, you're probably going to think something's wrong with you, because I know me and other people did at some point think there must be just something wrong with me because I feel this way, because that's who I feel I am. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but when people are telling you, oh, it's probably just a phase, it's probably this, you do feel kind of guilty, or you feel kind of wrong in feeling so definitely the way you are. The reason why I don't think I am in a phase is because, first off, the reason why I could probably question that I'm in a phase is because I've I've only recently come out as transgender. So last year is when I properly came out as transgender, but my entire life I have known that I am something different. My entire life I have known that there was something different. I'm yet again going to make a video soon about what it was like, as I said in my last video, growing up in a private all-girls Catholic school as a transgender kid, of the gender that wasn't the private school. I did feel different, and throughout this I've always been slightly different up until the point that I knew what transgender was. The only thing stopping me was that I didn't have enough knowledge, and knowledge is what I'm trying to give you guys. Hopefully, if anyone's watching learning new knowledge, I'm glad you're here. And the one thing I didn't know was knowledge, and so I waited. I try to be a logical person, so when I knew that I could be transgender, I didn't come out as transgender for a while. I stayed for a year knowing, and before that it was another year or so kind of like trying to work out what kind of gender I was on the gender spectrum. I waited an entire year. I'm a very logical person. I waited an entire year trying to find exactly who I was, because there's no way that I would come out as trans. It was kind of a last resort coming out as trans, because I didn't know back then how much it was going to be, but I know what a struggle being trans is going to be. Yes, I know I've got a good life. I've got an easy life in comparison to some people, but in the mental way, it was so much easier beforehand for me. When I didn't really know I was trans, or I didn't really think about it, it was so much easier. So for me, it's very unlikely, and for other trans people, it's very unlikely it's a phase, because a lot of people wouldn't put themselves through this if they weren't absolutely sure. A lot of people who you ask, if you ask, so how do you feel? Like, how did you feel different? Because it could be a phase if you didn't always feel different, or this kind of stuff. And it's like asking someone how it feels. Can you explain how it feels to be the gender you are? If you're a cisgendered person, can you explain how it feels to be the gender you are? Male or female, how can you explain your gender? And it's the same as asking me what it feels like to be a man, or in the same relationship to is it a phase? I used to dress all feminine and all girly like. I will do a video after my transition where I look through those photos of me being all girly, and I loved makeup, and I still do, I still like it, but it wasn't me in a way. I was trying to be someone else, and that's what a lot of people say to me. Oh, it must have been a phase because you loved doing makeup, you loved wearing dresses, you loved, when you were a little kid, you loved Barbie, and you still loved playing with all of the dolls and stuff. My cat's come to join us. But see, I don't think it's a phase myself, because if it was a phase, I really would not be trying this hard, because it's a lot harder than anyone would do just on a whim. I don't think anyone would choose to be this way, and neither would I. If we go through in order, if someone comes out at a young age if someone comes out at an older age, like my age, or even older age, especially my age, when you're like a late teenager, they usually say it's a phase. It can even be when you're a younger teenager. There'll probably be still a few people that are saying, well, it's probably a phase because your hormones are crazy at this age. The only thing I can say to those people is, if you have either a child, a friend, anyone in your life who is coming out as transgender, listen to them first, and if they say that they are absolutely sure that there is nothing else that they think they can get their head around, I'd say as soon as you can, just get on a waiting list, because the gender therapists in the things like the Laurels Fund, or in any NHS funded place, any even most really good end private clinics, and most other clinics around the world that you have to do a waiting list for and other things are probably going to be because the doctors there, they have trained years and they are certified in telling people whether they should go through with it. That's their job. They are there to tell people whether they should go through with the treatment and whether they think that they are either mentally stable or they are mentally trans. Because now it's known in the biological community, in the medical community, gender dysphoria is known as an actual biological and medical issue. I wouldn't like to call it an issue because even though it's a struggle, I wouldn't not want to be trans because it's who I am. It's known as being biologically, the brain is, you're born that way with that brain. So if they do tests on you and they find that this is the case, then there's no way anyone can argue with it. Because if you've biologically got the same aspects of brain as the gender you assign yourself, then they can't really say it's a phase because your brain is actually that way. If you've got one piece of advice, if you have a child, a younger child, if they're like 12 or sometimes younger, sometimes a bit older, or you have a friend or something or someone in the family that is young and they're coming out, because when you're older you can do it more independently, like my age, but if they're young and they've told you they're coming out as transgender, first I'd say speak to them, have a long conversation with them. If they say that they are absolutely sure that they are transgender, then after you've spoken to them, the next thing you can do is get them on that waiting list. The waiting list is not to have testosterone necessarily. The waiting list is a good thing to get someone into the therapy, and what they do is they give you gender therapists, and these gender therapists will then work with your child or your family member or the transgender person that we're speaking about, and they will speak to them, they will give them therapy, and by the end of the therapy they will have sussed whether the person is trans. And I know it's very weird to, like, how can you tell someone that they are trans, that it isn't a phase? But the gender therapists, they're very good at it. They look at all sorts of aspects of this transgender person or this supposed transgender person, and they spend a long time just trying to find out who they are, ask them questions, find out a lot about them, and then in the end they will have the answer, and they will be the ones that gives the testosterone, the transitioning stuff to the child, and they'll probably wait till they're an adult. And another good thing, that if they're young, you should refer them straight away onto the waiting list to get the gender therapy, because they will give them hormone blockers, and hormone blockers just mean that the child, even if it is just a phase, the child can have their hormones blocked so that they won't continue on the sort of puberty of the gender assigned at birth, and they won't continue growing. For example, if you're FTM, you don't want to grow boobs, you know what I mean, you don't want to get too feminine or masculine in your body shape. The child could be put on hormone blockers until they've made up their mind, or until the gender therapist has made up their mind on the child. And this can all be done, and after that you can't really argue that the child has, or the transgender person is in a phase, because they've gone through so much that the likelihood that they will regret going through the transition is so small. So if once you've waited for 1 year for the waiting list, another year during therapy, another year to actually go through the transition, then it becomes something that is very unlikely to have a result that isn't that the child is transgender. So if you apply all these things together, I feel like I understand that people are trying to help out with what they think, trying to go into someone's life and say, why don't you try every other resort? You know, I know you say you're transgender, but you can't go back from there. It could just be a phase. My dad especially says, wait till you're 25 to take the hormones. And I don't want to wait till I'm 25, because I am so sure at this very point I've waited, I have been logical about it. Every single day I ask myself, is this just a phase? Could I imagine being feminine again, being a female again? Could I imagine a life like that? And the answer's always the same. It's no. So I just think, let people live their own lives, give them support. Obviously there is a middle ground with how fast you give someone testosterone. You should probably leave it a while so they can think over what they want, because my plans for testosterone and transitioning have changed. So there is a mid ground. You can leave them to check if it's a phase, I know, but there is a mid ground. So you can leave it a certain amount of time that's too long, that can make the transgender person very depressed if they wait too long, or you can do it too fast when they don't have time to think about what they want, which could lead to them maybe not being the gender that they thought they were. So there is a mid ground, but just don't try and tell people. You can if you want, but I think in the end leave it up to the person, because I'm sure they have thought about it plenty of times. Trans people, we think about it enough. We think, is it a phase? Is it this? We ask ourselves every day, and we've been confused, and there gets to a point, like me now, I'm sure this is who I am. I am definitely this way. There's no need for any comments telling me, you know, have you tried every other resort? Because I've tried every other resort, and I just can't wait at this point until I'm 25, until the phase would be over, because I just want to be in the body that I am, and I know that it's not a phase for me. But I seem to, and me and other trans people seem to be living their lives trying to prove to other people that we're not lying, and I don't necessarily think that should have to be a thing. So thank you guys for watching. There will be another video out a week from now, and then in summer there will be so many more videos. So again, thank you for watching. Subscribe on my face here, comment down below, my social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, link down below. Please pop over there, because I'm trying to be more active on Twitter and social media and stuff. Thank you. Bye bye. Are you sure you're not just otherkin? Also, I have multiple penis. So why do people assume? Why do people assume anything, really? Why do people